what is the feeling there in Toronto going into tonight's game?
I would say it's something new, and it's something new for a lot of reasons. And one of them is, if you're a Raptors fan, you started out as a very small piece of a much bigger sports puzzle. This is a hockey country, right? And not only that, this is a hockey town. The Toronto Maple Leafs were passed down from your grandfather to your father to you. And in this town, if you're not a Leafs fan, you're something else. And for a lot of people, because the sports run head-to-head, the Raptors became the something else, especially for people of color in the city. It's a very multicultural fan base and a very multicultural city in a way that other teams in the city can't quite match. And so if you're a Raptors fan, you started out as kind of another, and you put your heart into this team, and then your stars left. Vince Carter left. Chris Bosh left. Tracy McGrady left. It kept going and going. And then once your team got good, once they got into the DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Dwayne Casey era of the Toronto Raptors under Masai Ujiri, the seasons would end with something different, which was humiliation. Like LeBron James pulled their pants down on national TV over and over and over again. And this is finally a team where Raptors fans don't feel scared. And maybe they should because it's Golden State and all of that. Like, these guys are the champs. But this Raptors team feels different. And so if you're a Raptors fan, this is the first time probably in the franchise history where you've really been rewarded. And so when they won Game 6 against Milwaukee, the town every Raptors fan and all the kind of casual bandwagon fans coming in, it exploded. You had people on their balconies shooting cell phone videos, and you could hear it. You could hear it in the city. And so it really is something new. There's an excitement about basketball in the city and this country that there's never really been before. And the team is finally worthy of all of the love that's been poured into it from all these people over all these years.
Well, obviously, so many casual fans would relate this team to Drake, right? That he's the most well-known fan and also well-known aspect of the fandom. What is emblematic of the fan, of the Raptor fan, or this team, Bruce? Is it Drake? I mean, is that a viable picture?
Well, that's the one that people know, right? And in a way, the story of the Raptors can be told. They have another super fan. His name is Nav Bhatia. He's a car dealer. He's a first-generation Indian immigrant. The two most prominent fans of this team are visible minorities. Toronto is, by pretty much every measure, the most ethnically diverse city in the world, right? Like, we have people from all over the globe. It's an incredibly multicultural city, and that doesn't make us perfect or anything. But when you look at if you look at the crowds outside the building, and this is something that happens in other places now, but it happened in Toronto as much as anywhere first. If you look at the fans who are out there in the cold and the wet, and tonight actually it'll be pretty nice, that crowd looks like the city. That looks like riding the subway in this town. And that, to me, is what it is that this is, like, for the Toronto Maple Leafs can be a team for everyone because they are so big. They're just so massive. The fan base they have is as big as probably almost any team in North America. But for the Raptors, there was you didn't need the bar of accessibility in terms of the money it costs to play hockey, right? Or in terms of having to learn a sport. Like, basketball is a globally more popular sport than hockey. This is a sport in this town for more people from more places. And that, to me, is what the fans of Toronto really is. And so Drake kind of does, I mean, he's a kid who grew up in a nice part of town, was an actor, and he's famous now, and good for him. And now Bhatia was a first-generation immigrant who got treated like dirt and then built his way in this country. And those are both kind of stories of how the Raptors fan base was built and who they are. It's a really inclusive place, and that's something I really like.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.